It's going to take a while for the track to dry out. To stop once now, one stop left. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. The rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while. Full wets seem to be the fastest tyre for now. Has the lead. To stay on this tyre a bit longer, but there's no question that the track is drying. We might be in a position to change soon. Behind. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh wets. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 37.5. In front is 6.8 seconds. Seeing that the tyres are too hot, you need to cool them down, find some standing water. pits. We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. Inters and wets will probably have similar pace at the moment. We can't take you right now. Pit in next lap. Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits. Exit. Exit now. Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left. Position. You're in 14th position. Latifi just ahead. Push for position. They're on fresh wets. Vettel is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. To say if inters or wets are better right now. The gap to the car ahead is 3.3 seconds. You have P7, 7th place. Norris just ahead. Push for the position. Gap to car in front is 21.8 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Vettel behind. Less than a second separate you. They're on fresh inters. The distance to the leader is 41.4 seconds. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. Battery's looking good. You can use overtake to get past. We're trailing our teammate by 20.2 seconds. Is behind you. They're on fresh inters. We think they've got one more stop. best tyre for now. You have P5, P5. Norris is ahead of you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh inters. Signs behind. The gap behind us is 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh inters. The gap to the leader is 24.9 seconds. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Verstappen's out in front. I think we're still on the right tyres for the time being. Position. You're in fourth position. Albon's just ahead. Push for the position. Okay, gap ahead is 12.7 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Norris is behind you. They're on fresh inters. Our gap to first place is 26.3 seconds. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. 0.4 seconds. Doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. intake button more, it's time to utilize some of this energy. Is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 12.0 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:33.4. You're gaining by 8 tenths. 8 tenths. To the car ahead is 11.9 seconds. Is 11.6 seconds. They're on fresh inters. Their tyres are 7 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:33.3. You're gaining by 3 tenths a lap. Good work. Is 10.7 seconds. Teammate ahead is 27.6 seconds. They're on old inters. They're in second. The time last lap was a 1:31.8. perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet. As things stand, we'll be second in the championship. Current forecast is 5 or 10 more minutes of rain before it dries up. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now. Verstappen's in first place. I think the track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres. In front is 10.4 seconds. This rain should be ending shortly. Be ready for the grip to come back, but don't overheat the tyres. Not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover. Roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. Certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Please overtake and burn some of this energy. Release, release. Okay, 2 stops left now. 2 stops. The stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now. Not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover. Come in and fitted the soft tyre. The gap to the car ahead is 12.3 seconds. Lewis is in for a stop. Albon's just ahead. Push for the position. Gap to car in front is 12.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. P7 now. P7, Albon is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 12.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Norris behind. The gap to the car behind is 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Your pit window will open in 14 laps time. 46 laps to go. Look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected. Dries seem like the best tyre for now. 5 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in second. The time last lap was a 1 minute 43.5. Front is 10.7 seconds. Okay, 2 stops left now. 2 stops, you have 11 laps till your pit window opens. Teammate ahead is 36.7 seconds. Increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap. Albon ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 11.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1:22.0. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap. front is 14.3 seconds. We're in P4. Albon's just ahead. Push for the position. Okay, gap ahead is 14.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Norris is behind you. Our gap behind is 1.0 seconds. They're on old softs. Okay, gap to leader, 45.7 seconds. Your pit window opens in 8 laps time. 40 laps to go now. Strategy is available on the MFD. Okay, copy that. Yellow flag. Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Okay, clear. No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. Trailing our teammate by 45.4 seconds. Our gap to the car in front is 15.8 seconds. about 3/10 a lap. For now, everything's looking good. Verstappen has the lead. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs. For next box. To the car ahead is increasing by a few tenths per lap. Norris ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 1.2 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1 minute 21.5. We're dropping back by around 4/10 a lap. passing this lap. Is in the pits. Look after these tyres now. They're on fresh softs. They're in second. They're on fresh softs. They're in second. second of the car ahead. Get ready to use DRS to overtake. The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Norris behind, they're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. They seem to have an issue. The time last lap was a 1:21.1. Fourth position, you're in fourth position. Albon is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 25.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Vettel is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on old softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 27 laps to go. Is still looking good. The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Verstappen's in first place. Vettel behind, the gap is less than a second. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:23.0. P4, Albon ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 30.1 seconds. They're on old softs. Ricciardo behind. Okay, the gap behind is 1.2 seconds. They're on old softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. You have 25 laps to go. No tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving. With tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Fourth position. You're in fourth position. Albon's just ahead. Push for the position. Our gap to the car in front is 30.0 seconds. They're on old softs. Ricciardo is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on old softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. You have 25 laps to go. Albon is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 30.9 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:20.6. Is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix. out in front. Fuel target is +1. Faster engine modes are available. They're on old softs. They're in second. The time last lap was a 1 minute 20.8. Softs. They're in second. The time last lap was a 1:20.0. Gap to car in front is 31.5 seconds. Albon ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 31.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 20.5. You're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
softs. They're in second. The time last lap was a 1:19.7. Just ahead, push for the position. Our gap to the car in front is 33.7 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 11 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:20.5. You're dropping back by around 1.4 seconds.
is 33.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:20.6. You're dropping back by around 1.4 seconds. 0.1 seconds. Albon ahead. Gap to car in front is 33.0 seconds. They're on old softs. Ricardo behind. The gap behind us is 1.2 seconds. They're on old softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 18 laps to go. Just ahead. Push for the position. Okay, gap ahead is 32.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:20.6. Pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. As things stand, we'll be second in the championship. Front is 32.2 seconds. Will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out. We can work on a fix remotely. Albon is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 32.4 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 14 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:20.7. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap. Is in the pits. Albon ahead. Gap to car in front is 29.2 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Just ahead. Push for the position. Okay, gap ahead is 29.2 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Our gap to the car in front is 12.4 seconds. Fourth fourth position. You're in fourth position. Albon is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 12.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Sainz is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 3.9 seconds. They're on old softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 15 laps still remaining. Tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Front is 14.1 seconds. Is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap. is 17.4 seconds. We're in P4, Albert ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 17.8 seconds. They're on old softs. Signs behind. Our gap behind is 18.8 seconds. They're on old softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 9 laps to go. To the car ahead is 18.8 seconds. Signs is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 17.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 19.7. Blue flag. Just ahead, push for the position. Gap to car in front is 20.0 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:19.5. Understood, stopping this lap. 4th position. You're in 4th position. Albon is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 20.8 seconds. They're on old softs. Signs behind. The gap behind us is 15.5 seconds. They're on old softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 6 laps to go. Dropping a second a lap to the car behind, 1 second. Is 22.2 seconds. Albon ahead. The gap to the car ahead is 22.2 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 19.4. You're dropping back by around 1.4 seconds. This time. They're on old softs. They're in second. The time last lap was a 1:19.1. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. Sainz is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 13.8 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 19.8. Right, some information on Ricciardo. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow. With tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Gap to car in front is 24.4 seconds. Sainz behind. Our gap behind is 13.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:19.8. At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap. Bottas is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 12.3 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 10 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 19.7. Blue flag. Blue flag conditions. Create a gap and let the car behind through. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Verstappen has the lead. Sainz behind, the gap. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
They've done it then. A spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race. The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Daniel Ricciardo certainly impressed me today, an incredible performance. I know that's at odds with the official decision, but I think they deserve some recognition on a day where both of these drivers are at the top of their game.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us. We'll see you for the next one.